Okay, fine. So why wouldn't you sell wine? Before we come down
why did I
to
sell
what
it?
happened after Warwick.
Yeah, okay.
Let's talk about
selling is
the association,
yeah,
and then
okay.
we'll also talk about
Okay.
your Kenyan business.
Okay.
Yeah. But maybe we should understand it. It was not the plan.
Was it not? Hey, it was great, it was great, it was great.
Okay, how much time do we have?
No, you have time.
Yeah, no,
Depends on your editors and your audience.
No, don't worry about it.
I can talk.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
Your neighbor will have changed the battery.
I guess everything happens for a reason. Maybe it's interesting. Maybe it's really like this is a good time.
Recording for his own self. Anyway.
Why don't you like to, I don't like to sell? Because I feel personally an inauthenticity around selling. Like
inauthenticity.
Yeah. Like say I can talk to you about like sharing a passion, it's really cool. If you share the same passion, that's even better. You know, both something we love and we love to talk about. That I have to close the deal on it, that the determination of the success of it is whether you buy the thing or not.
Yeah.
It starts to become really hard. So I'm very bad at closing a deal like that.
And yet you're a businessman. Did they not teach you enough at the
PGD.
at our very well-renowned university? Did you not learn anything?
Don't be enough to tell me and say that in my gig. I mean, look, I can do it. I still do it. I can do it.
The irony is saying that and then going to set up a company where your KPI is sales.
I'm not the guy selling wine, right? That's the thing. And there are people who are passionate about it and people who are loving it, right? Okay. I think I can feed it. You know, I can feed in the equation very easily because there's a lot of other stuff around it. You know, before the actual let's close the deal and let's sell it. And that's stuff you can do. I mean, you can do it. You can walk into a shop, meet a guy, give him his specs, tell him what he needs and all that, and then you walk away. It doesn't fulfill me. It doesn't. I don't enjoy that. Right? I don't derive a pleasure from doing that.
Okay.
And especially in a commercial setting, because it matters not. I mean, I could be selling you staple pins, or I could be selling you wine. You know, at the end of the day, you're like, oh, you have a gap for red wine. Yes, I have red wine. Is that that price point? Yes, it's that price point. Can you get it to me tomorrow? Yes, I can get it to you tomorrow. Can you get it to me every 2 weeks for the next 2 weeks? Yes, I can. All right, cool. Let's sign. You know, that's a deal done. And that's sales. And some people are really good at that.
Okay.
Well, and I can do that. It
You
doesn't
don't
give
enjoy
me joy to do that.
Being on the floor gives you bigger joy?
Yeah. Being on the floor, yes, to an extent, because then it's not about, you're like, what do you like? Why do you like it? I like that too. Let me tell you a story about it. Okay. I know just, and then, we crack open the bottle. I really like that wine. I'll buy a dozen, I'll buy 2 dozen, I'll buy 3 dozen. How many times do you get to sell a wine like that? So that for me, that ignites my passion. That I'm passionate about. And then teaching. I mean, much like you do, training and seeing that spark, seeing that penny drop and realize, oh my God, I can taste that, I can see that. That's great. Like that I can do. So
tell us about your teaching gigs, because you have many. There's one I'm jealous about. There's one I'm very, very jealous about. Jonathan, this is for you. I want to be the supporting lecturer in that particular unit. I will come and compliment Matume and Spencer, right?
No, that's so that
I will do it for free. Sorry.
Did we ever do anything for free? No, never did. So teaching, okay, cool. So no, so in and around the business I'm involved in, that there's very large element of training. The training being that my philosophy being, if you understand wine better, you're able to sell it. If you understand the brands that I sell better, you're able to sell them. So I incorporated a lot of training for that. I'm currently the chairperson of the South African Sommelier Association, and in my tenure, education and training has been a very big driver, if not the key thing that we do. I'm proud to say I've sat on and been involved in certification of 500 people into the wine industry, which is great.
And this is an international certification. It's not just the training people do as
no, we just do certifications. International. Yeah. So that's and that's great. That's impactful.
No training is over.
The coffee machine is No one wants coffee. It's upset. Yeah, so that's
Can you
that's cool.
repeat that? Sorry, when you, because of the machine, right?
Yeah. Which part?
As chairman of the
Oh,
Sommelier
yeah.
Association, I've been able to train 500 people.
Yeah.
Just
So,
in case we missed it.
okay, yes. So as the in my tenure in the Sommelier Association, education and training certifications has been the key thing that I've focused on. And in that time I've been involved in the certification of over 500 people in the South African mining scheme. And now working on building structures that allow that to go on long after I've left.
And when you talk about the certification, it's an international certification. So basically you're saying the people who are part of the association who have been certified here can work anywhere around the world and use that certification because it's what is the world standard of sorts. People understand it. They won't have to ask you where does it fall in.
We certify at different levels.
Okay.
Our highest certifications are internationally recognized.
Okay.
Well, we also of course recognize that you don't stumble into that sort of, you don't walk into that level of certification very easily.
Yeah.
So we build it up.
Okay.
Into being able to do those.
Okay, so there are how many levels?
4.
Okay.
Only the first one isn't up to this.
Okay, fine, but all
And that's an introductory one.
Okay.
And the other 3 are all internationally recognized. So
Sure.
yeah, and we've been great. Like we've been able to get people jobs on ships. We've been able to get people jobs all over the
All
world.
over the world, yeah.
And impact of it is massive, and I think far too young to be speaking of it in that way, but like
No. Impact is impact. Really, impact.
No, I mean I just think, in the context of life lived, like opportunities I've had, doors open, things like that. Like I've been so fortunate in many ways. Of course, I've worked really hard in many other ways, but at the end of the day, you do reach a point in life and realize it's not just about you.
Exactly.
It's about how much you can accumulate and how much you can do and all that. So I genuinely take pleasure. There's like a genuine pleasure in knowing that I've changed people, that I've had a hand in helping someone's life get that little bit better. And that's more satisfying than selling a bottle of wine, actually.
For a soap, blah 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 blah. But then that's the thing. So Mwalimu Spencer, thank you, Sana. No, because I know Mwalimu is a treasured name for myself. You have a mutual friend who you like calling Mwalimu. Yeah.
Yeah.
And again,
excellent prof, which is even better.
Oh, you call him prof, pretty cool. Yeah. So really, I totally get you on that one, And I used to hate it. My mom was a teacher. And of course, would be somewhere random, and someone would come and be like, "Oh my God, you taught me in 19 whatever."
You're like, wow.
And then here is my children, and this is what I'm doing. Yeah. You have to listen to this story, and we'd be like rolling our eyes because, oh my God, it happens every time. Now, when I walk into a restaurant in Nairobi and I want to be incognito, I can't because oh my God, and I have to.
I mean, you've impacted some crazy.
Yeah, and now it's so special, really. It's so special, but then before
I should give you a burning spear. I don't know if it's
I should get some award. No,
because it's true, man. I mean,
that's the impact.
Yeah. I mean,
and just because
your brand
well, thank you.
Are very
thank you.
Aligned with wine development in Kenya.
Absolutely.
And in the business that I've been involved in, your name comes up often, believe me.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. I mean, I would never have.
Yeah. I wouldn't blog that.
And here's the evidence. Here's the video.
How about you? Like
Truth. Yeah. So that's really cool. Yeah. So you do Sommelier Association of South Africa, SASA. Yeah. But you also teach at the top business school in South Africa.
We moderate that. I did moderate at the GSP, yes. The Graduate School of Business at UCT and the program of wine. What do you call it?
It's a postgraduate diploma in the wine business management. It's another PG.
PGD.
There we
go.
I am a recipient.
Are you a graduate of the PGD?
I'm a graduate of the PGD.
They lecture you?
No, I was there. So we met in February.
Oh, that far back.
I enrolled in May.
Okay.
Yeah, I enrolled in May. So it's funny. That's what I'm saying. It's funny that I met you before. But you know, this is how it comes circle. By the way, that's where I met Matume.
Ah.
Matume Bata.
Oh, no way.
And that's
Very
how,
good.
and that's how I.
Was he lecturing then?
Yes, he had come
Ah,
to do it comes to do a presentation on doing business in Africa.
Yeah,
What WOSA does.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
markets.
yeah.
Yeah. And there I was.
Amazing.
And I'm like, okay, so what about Kenya? He's like, well, we're not in Kenya yet, we do Uganda.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
right.
dude.
They did Uganda before Kenya?
Yes.
Wow.
But then again, how do you get into a country?
Uganda,
was-
Uganda, you go to Kenya.
No, well, there was a very proactive
Ah,
CEO of South African Airways
ah,
who then used to use her South African Airways platform to showcase South African ones. And I mean, it's an easy sell, right? So it wasn't quite a trade show per se. It was more of, you know, giving her clients, you know,
CEO of SA.
SA in Uganda. Yeah.
Oh, in Uganda.
In Uganda. And of course, SA was also in Kenya as well. So then I went to the Ugandan event and did a proposal, and my first event in South Africa was
Put yourself out there.
you know, the Cape Wine. No, I mean, it's crazy how it happened, honestly speaking. Yeah, it's crazy how it happened. We had our first meeting at Natasha's,
Yeah.
and then I was here for Cape Wine, and the rest is history. 10 years later, Melrose Arch.
Yeah.
Melrose Arch, Johannesburg. Yeah, it's a beautiful story. We were talking about it the other day.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing what has come about. And really, it's been immense. I wasn't in the industry. I was totally someone who had known, but just the impact I've had when the door just opened, even before I started doing the Dynamic Why the Space Education Trust training has been really, really immense. Yeah, I can't believe it. And I'm so, so grateful. Yeah. And now, of course, I'm doing Tanzania as well, which I had never assumed I would get also.
That Toastmasters in Swahili is coming in handy. I'm sure.
Kabisa, right? Okay, so SASA, you joined as a member when you were working for Burata, and now you're the president. You go to a lot of international events. So why is it important for perhaps a country to have a sommelier association? Don't we have enough organizations already? Can't we just be bar?
You're asking hard questions. 2 hours ask that question. Hard question now? No.
And another way,
Okay.
well inebriated.
Well, I don't know. Let me speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
What's the value? Because you know we are setting up the Kenyan
I
chapter
do,
of the
and
same.
I'm so excited.
Through your very big help and on your very steady shoulders.
I'm so excited for it. Look, there is an incredible value towards placing a tangible. What makes a doctor a doctor? What makes a doctor a doctor? Like what stops your auntie who tells you,
Drink dawa. Drink the ginger tea lemon mix, yeah.
Right? And it might work, and you'll feel better. But the day you're vomiting blood, you're not going to that auntie to tell her, hey, what do you think? Did you go to
Dr. Moretti?
Right? Now, but the thing with wine, much like with food, you don't need the certification. You don't need it. You absolutely don't. You can do the job.
You can do the job, yeah.
But as to how well you can do the job and as to what level you can do to use that, that's what you need the benchmark for. That's what you need the certification. Okay. And so in the same way, playing on that analogy, right? That's what person who's now a certification, and that's what we do at SASA is the certification part. Not as much the training part. That training part, we have partners to do that. But the reason you don't go to your auntie when you're vomiting blood, even though she's given you the best cough medicine remedy, I understand you're good. I understand that you might know a few things, but I need someone who's not only knows, but they have studied this, they have seen something like this before. There's a precedent who said this, and that's what a professional is.
Yes.
And now that is what a professional sommelier is. Someone who, in order to get that certification, what that certification is a stamp. It's a stamp to certify the amount of knowledge that you have.
Yeah.
And ability that you have. And if you haven't got it, then you're not good enough. Yeah. And maybe your auntie could go to skip medical school, go straight to the exam and pass. And then Sawa, good for her.
Good for
She's
her.
as good as a doctor.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Right? Chances are she won't pass. Why? Because there's a lot of intricate
Details.
that you need to know. And so this is the thing that if you can, it's very upsetting, because it's a very difficult situation. You don't want to sort of say, oh, no, you're looking down your nose at people who are not good
True.
at that and all that because
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
All right. And that's how I can come across. But it's not about that. It really isn't. It's an understanding of, look, I know how much work I have to do to get the qualification. I should never even mentioned once, but that's okay. But there's so few people in the world who got that.
Yeah.
And that's because it's not easy
It's
to
not
get.
easy to get it, exactly.
So by the time I'm giving you advice on your restaurant, I'm giving you advice on your wine list, I'm telling you, recommending the wine it doesn't come from hey, I done this last night and I think it's nice.
True.
I've been to South Africa 4 times. I've been to
Have you seen? I know Spencer. I know Spencer.
You ain't said it. No, but you know what I mean? Like it's not about
It's not
that,
about
right?
that, true.
It's about going beyond on a world stage and saying what I know is good enough, right? Good enough to work anywhere, to be an expert at what I do.
Exactly.
And that's why it's important. Now, why is it important for Kenya to have one in particular? Because Kenya is a serious country. It's not that you can joke about this and all that, but Kenya is a serious country.
Sure.
It's a serious country. Economically, politically, it's an important country in the picture of what Africa is. And the hospitality scene in Kenya, it's fine. Like it's proper. It's awesome. It's great restaurants, it's a great standard of restaurants, it's a great curiosity, there's a great amount of people from all over the world, including Kenyans themselves, indulging and starting to appreciate a fine, not just fine art, but that's some middle class culture for that.
Yes,
Spending money on food and wine and things like that.
And they're coming in their droves to Cape Town since the visa restrictions were lifted, right?
Yeah, you're complaining. Like, tourists are many. Like, you guys aren't spending. What's the problem? Because but no. But
yes. So
now, if you are able to create that certification in Kenya, and you see, and ultimately, the message you drive, what I am saying, okay, no one's not good enough. Absolutely not. People there in Kenya, I'm sure, are good enough. I am sure they are. Certain. However, if you're not giving them that certification, then there's no watermark, there's no benchmark, no standard, no saying this guy's an expert because, or this chick's an expert, she knows a thing because she's got. But then all the people working and calling themselves sommeliers loosely, without ever doing that, is it's wrong. And why it's wrong, and you're gonna find out very soon, is because when you start and you get the honest man or woman who wants to do it the right way and does the things the right way, and then the job opportunity comes. And they're like, yeah, no, we're looking for somebody. I'm doing that person or somebody. Why are they somebody? Oh, no, they've been selling wine for 10 years. That's somebody else. Or they've been to Italy 15 times. Or they've been to France 12 times. Now they're calling. That's not what a sommelier is.
True.
Right? And that is why it's problematic. And that is why you need a sommelier association to be able
to certify that, yeah. Okay, I totally get you, and I've been involved in this discussion about
it's not the first
formally,
this is a practice conversation.
Okay, formally and informally, but then okay, so the thing is, I was always like, and for example, Matume has challenged me on many times, Wines of South Africa, right? They're having a sommelier competition, and there's a criteria, for example. So I know we use the terminology very loosely, but in essence, I think, at least in my experience from when I started the business, there's ways we could sort of narrow down into this is what we mean when we say sommelier, right? Of course, the loose thing is that you're in the wine industry. Very loose, problematic, very, very loose, very problematic. There's no grading, there's nothing anybody can claim. But then now we start sort of formalizing in different ways. So there was a course, yeah? Believe it or not, apparently Cape Wine Academy courses have been running in Kenya before. I didn't even know that.
When I did mine, they told me about a guy bringing in Kenya. Somewhere in the restaurant.
Yes, I didn't even know that. So there was people who I guess have Cape Wine Academy qualifications. And there was people who had done online whatevers. And then now before we started WSET, then we could start using WSET as a benchmark again. There's debate around is that really it? And then now what's the courses or whatever it is. Yeah?
There should be
Yeah,
no debate.
there should be no debate, right? But I get you now, but at least somehow now there's a classification. And part of the quote unquote small wins I celebrate is when a job description is kind of specific on you must have this qualification. So cruises, for example, they make it very easy to separate. They say you have to have WSET2, right? If you're applying for this job in the ship, right? And there's a few people, of course, who then have to rush to class to qualify to apply for that job, you know? So I see we're on the right track, and I'm sure even with this qualification, it doesn't mean people won't stop claiming.
Yeah.
But at least they would have to. We are formalizing a lot more.
No,
Going forward.
we won't.
I'm always asked, are you a sommelier? And I have to deny. I've never worked on the shop floor. I don't have ASI. I am an educator of sommeliers, and I try and push everything back to mimini mwalimu, right? I'm a mimini consultant, right? Because I don't want to use the word some. But if that is the only way people know how to describe a wine person, you know what I take it and I wear it loosely, right? Like, nasikia, Mr. Chairman. Nakusikia. Nakusikia. Yeah.
No.
I knew it, but
No. You see.
But I hear you. But of course, with the debate is a big one.
No, it totally is. You know, like you can't take that away from someone. I mean, I'm not gonna. You can't take it away. But.
Yes. Emphasize.
Because
I'm not even coming to Monaco.
For your audience, I'm going to Monaco in 2 weeks because you're sommelier. No, that's why the sommelier body must exist. Like right now, it's easy to say we can't do it because it doesn't exist. But once it exists, there's no excuse.
Okay.
And that's why it must happen. And then when it happens, then you fix it. And I assure you, anyone who's done the WCTs who's got the experience on the floor will have enough to pass the sommelier exam. Because all the sommelier exam is doing is taking that knowledge, that experience, and putting it great towards it.
Okay.
And that's all that it is. There's nothing special. There's nothing outstanding about that. It's just a thing of saying that is the benchmark.
Okay.
And you have achieved it. And I assure you that many people, all the people who are calling themselves that in Kenya right now, if they did a one-day exam, one-day exam, you guys organize that, they'd all pass. Okay. And they get their pins and they can say to the authority,
So assuming we have people who are interested like today, when is the next exam in South Africa? In April. Could you find the exam?
Yeah, man. I mean,
at the cost of how much?
No, I mean, I've had some conversations with Woza to try and make it happen. It's unfortunately not been great from a budgetary cycle.
Yeah, but then how much is it?
The exam itself isn't a lot. The exam itself is 2,000 rand.
2,000 rand.
Like 15K, maybe 17K.
Okay, so add your ticket and your accommodation.
That's not a problem, right? But like, I mean, if there's, unfortunately, with my SASA hat on, there's absolutely no incentive for me to extend this to Kenya.
To bring the cost to Kenya or to accept Kenyans?
No, to put a package together for Kenyans to come. Right?
But then I mean,
I'm happy. I mean, we're certifying songs from Brazil next month, right? For me, there's no issue with where they come from. We'll certify you happy. It's the thing of how do I make it affordable to get more Kenyans to come. Okay. And unfortunately, I can't. I mean, I love it, but as the custodian of SASA, I can't sort of say, oh, now I want to spend a couple of 100,000 rand to get Kenyans to be certified, because there's no commercial benefit for SASA. In that sense, which is why I've tried to have conversations with Woza, of whom it is for commercial benefit, because Kenya is one of their two top markets, and say, if we certify Kenyan sommeliers in South Africa to sell South African wine, then they'll understand and sell more South African wine. So why doesn't Woza put together a package to do that? And they haven't.
That's my challenge. That's a challenge to me.
So, yes,
that's a challenge to me. But I was going to appeal. Yeah.
So.
And no, this one has to be in. But I know as a chairman, you have limitations, but I'm going to refer you back to your team going to Mombasa for rugby. And anyway, we will pool resources, all of us.
Look, we can make it happen.
All of us will pool resources. I'll
tell you one thing.
And you know what? I can assure you, can I make this?
Yeah.
I can assure you there's people who will bring themselves. Yeah. And as long as that is possible,
I'll give you two things. Two things will happen.
Two things, okay.
So April is the next certification. The next one, I think, is going to be in November. After November, we have the Ubuntu Sommeliers, travel interest between South Africa and Zimbabwe. It's a sommelier competition.
So how many days apart in November?
Nah, unfortunately, yeah, they're about 2 weeks apart. But I mean,
Okay.
that's fine. I can still make it happen. That even within Ubuntu, we can do a certification
Okay.
that you get your team of Kenyans to come. And do the thing. They will compete as Kenya in the competition.
After
And
getting the certification.
you can do it at the same time.
Okay. So there's 3 opportunities.
Yeah. And so now you have runway. Now you have runway, Paka, November. So
Say it's the non-planner. Alas.
I said short-term planning. You can do short-term planning. You can do 2000. I don't even know what I'm wearing.
Is an April opportunity? You know you're wearing tomorrow.
Short-term planning for 2000.
April opportunity, November opportunity, December opportunity.
Yeah. April might be too soon, understandable. November opportunity, make it happen. You only need 5. Let's start with 5 because those 5 go back to Kenya and become the inaugural.
Yes.
And then those 5 or 10 or whatever they are, they become the body that now starts doing more for more people back home. So you find your 5 people. You find 5 people, I'll get the accommodation. That's when I can commit here on air.
Thank you. On air.
Here on air.
Accommodation is sorted.
Accommodation, I can sort.
You can sort.
So
No, this kitchen is without for 0. This, yeah, we understand that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I mean, you've done a lot more off camera, off air, what can I say? Not publicly acknowledged, but I know you continue doing this for us, yeah? Because we know where your heart is. Your heart is still in the mirror. Okay, awesome. Tell us about your business in Kenya.
Oh my word.
Yeah, I know it's a book in itself, but this is a parting shot.
Yeah.
I also want to know why you have your name under a wine label and yet you claimed. So I want to know what this means because in the same breath of saying I will never make my own wine, somehow you are still on a label. And then you say something about you can't just slap a wine label with your name on it. Do they have evidence? Yeah, I have evidence. So I want to know.
That's very important. You might not know this thing till the end. They're just
not too well.
Okay.
Let them think what they will think. Leave the editing job to me. Yeah.
Okay.
But I watch videos to the end, right?
Do you?
Like I really, if I like the people and the subject matter,
Sufficiently engaging.
I will just.
I hope it's sufficiently
engaging.
My dog doesn't open up once. Literally stepped in the room. So I hope you engage more people.
So yeah, so business in Kenya. So I'm assuming, you left worried.
No, I didn't leave work yet.